Let's see if, because we'll find out in a second. I gotcha. Okay, well, it's not. Oh, okay, well, it's not. Say something real fast. Say something real fast. Okay, well, it's not showing me your voice. I mean, it'll just be weird that I'm sitting here talking to myself. No, I'm just chatting. I don't know if there's. I don't know what setting to click on that one. I don't think there's anything you can do about it, though. Oh. Well, I guess on that bombshell, welcome everyone back to another stream. We're playing GT7 like always. You guys would be able to hear Kaysen, but unfortunately, so yeah, Kaysen could be saying like all sorts of terrible things right now, and you couldn't even tell what he was saying. So I'm gonna pause this broadcast and see if I can quickly change a setting. Maybe I missed something when I started it. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna do kind of the same stuff we did in the last stream. Do some AI racing, maybe try out a new car. Talk about the new updates. Like I said, I hate you guys can't hear Kaysen. I'm using the Discord functionality on PS5, so that's probably part of why it's being like this, because usually when we do PS5 party chat, everything works like it should. I mean, unless it's in the Discord settings. I'm trying to see if I can figure this all out. I don't think I can, though, which is really annoying. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what to do about that, so... Oh well. Kaysen's doing his own thing anyway, so he's probably fine with not being vocally heard in this stream. So yeah, we're gonna take out another car out for the WTC 700 race at Le Mans. I haven't decided what I want to throw at it quite yet, though, because I built this 3000 GT yesterday, and I haven't used it for anything yet, but I don't necessarily know if I want to use it today. That bug is not going, and neither is that Mark 1 GTI. The M3 was a good car from the last one. I mean, I hate that it's like the one time I've ever lost that race. This Corvette's just bonkers. That car's a little bit overpowered. Let's see. I know a lot of people have different opinions on their cars they run with this stuff. The TT is my go-to for a lot of things. So is this Mark 7 GTI in the end here. But I want to try a car that I typically don't run out in this event. Also, just to add, I am playing in VR, so when I'm playing in VR, it doesn't display any chat messages. So if you're leaving messages in the chat, I probably won't be able to see it until I take a break to read chat, which I typically try to do every time I pit in the WTC 700. And I also will try to take periodic breaks to check it myself. Let's see, what other cars do we have here? Kaysen, are you watching the stream at all? Do you want to help me pick a car? Because I'm kind of torn. Yeah, that's true. You can read chat messages out to me as they come in. That way it's the Turbocharged Mudkip channel. Ah, man, I'm so torn. Now that one I haven't changed the name of 800 times like I have the main channel. Don't want to take my drift car. That's a terrible idea. It's a 700 pp limit. So like group 4 level cars. So like, I don't know, man. I'm torn. Because most of the cars I have around that performance point level are group 4 cars. And I don't really want to do group 4. I want to try a street car that I've used before. I've used the F430 here. Shoot. I haven't ran the Giulia yet. I don't think I have all the tires on it yet, but I can run the Giulia. That might be a pretty solid car for this, actually. And then I have the Civic Type R as well. I guess let me filter it like Cason was... Well, you guys can't hear him, but what he was trying to tell me was to filter by performance points. So these are all the cars that are eligible to run in that event. That are close. Could bring the Demio out and just see what happens. The Demio would get smacked. I already know that car is going to get just destroyed out here. The E30 would be kind of fun too, but it just doesn't make a ton of power. I'd have to stuff some more power into it, and that would kind of negate what I was trying to go for with that build. That Z is not ready for this. The Civic's not ready for this. The RX-7 might be pretty good. I don't know how thirsty that car is. That's my main things. I don't know how bad that thing's gonna drink fuel. I know they drink oil, but I don't know about fuel in this one. Shoot. I'm leaning towards the Alpha. That's a car I've never driven in this event. Yeah, and that car's... Let's see. I only have the softs. I'm definitely gonna have to get some tires for this thing. Let's see. We're definitely gonna need the entire lineup of tires on this car. Maybe not the heavy wets. I've never had to use the heavy wets at Le Mans, so we'll just cop the intermediates. This race will give about 850k or 825k, one of the two, so it should be a decent influx of cash. I don't quite know how this is going to go. This car's got some steam. I mean, 600 horsepower is no joke, but it is a good bit heavier than most of the cars that'll be racing with this race. Like I said, these are Group 4 level cars. So, I'm going to have to actually tone it down a little bit. Apparently on the softs, it's slightly above 700, so we're going to create a second map. It's going to be WTC 700, and we're just going to let's see. I turned that down. Turn anti-lag off, and that didn't do anything. Let's see. Stock turbos. Still just slightly too much. Okay, there we go. We put the stock intake back on, stock headers back on. Okay, so now it meets everything we need. Alright, Kason, how do you think this is going to go? Do you think this is going to go good for me? Do you think I'm going to get smacked? So the grid is, it's all Group 4. We've got the Suzuki Swift, the Viper, the Corvette, the G70, pretty much the entirety of the Group 4 grid that's in the game. Except for what appears to be the Scirocco. The Scirocco appears to be the only one missing. Alright, let's see how this goes. I'm going to center my VR. Alright, let's go. So I'm going to immediately dump this into fuel map 4, try to conserve some fuel. Let's just go straight to 6. I love that this are not in miles or in kilometers, and I don't have any sort of heads-up display telling me otherwise. So, disregard if I drive bad. This is the first time I've ever driven this car in this game on this track, so And I think this is the very first time I've ever driven this car competition-wise. Like, I usually don't drive this car competitively. It just kind of makes occasional time trial appearances, and that's about it. I use it as a benchmark more than I do proper competition car. Which is a shame, because I love this car. So, might get a track. Oh gosh, the Huracan spun out right in front of me. I may have to actually restart because I think I would have lost. I think that probably cost me the clean race bonus, honestly. So, my VR got uncentered. I'll make sure. There we go. See, some cars in VR, I feel like I'm sitting way too far back, and some cars I feel like I'm like right in the dash. This is one of those cars I feel like I'm too far back. The Scirocco, like the road, like the normal Scirocco are, dude, I feel like I'm eating the dashboard. Back-end's a little skatey. Not too bad, though. This actually, for a rear driver with the new physics, this thing's actually pretty controllable, because a lot of these cars have become undrivable once you start dumping a ton of power into them, and if they're not all-wheel drive. And even then, I've noticed a lot of all-wheel drive cars, they get really unstable under braking now with the new physics. Come on, man, get out of the way. I had to jam the brakes, and I still bumped that Mazda. This is weird that the clusters in miles. I wonder if they based this on a US spec car for some reason. But then I don't even think they sell the GTA M here. Do they? Do they sell the Giulia GTA M here? Huh. That is so confusing. It's miles per hour then, because I'm like, the only country I'm aware of in Europe that uses miles per hour is England. And this is a left-hand drive car in miles per hour. But I'm like 90% sure they don't sell this here. Guess I'll look into it. I mean, unless Italy changed recently, but I'm pretty sure they're also kilometers. Because Italy, I think, is left-hand drive. Because I know France is still kilometers. I know Germany is still kilometers. So, I mean, unless Italy themselves changed. I mean... Oh, I just know something even more weird. So the physical analog or speedometer on the dash is in kilometers, but the digital readout's in miles. That's even more confusing. Maybe this is like one of the few cars where it actually takes into account your game settings, because like most cars, regardless of whatever region it is, will read their native, like whatever the car was modeled in. So, I don't know, maybe this car pays attention to that kind of stuff, like in your game settings. Okay, it's handled that corner way better than I thought it would. The ZF is definitely at home here. This is definitely a good transmission for this car. Alright. We didn't take the lead on lap 1, which I think the fact that I'm running in fuel map 6, this car is probably a few £100 overweight compared to the rest of the cars in this class. It's not too bad. I mean, this car makes 600 horsepower pretty much on full tap, which most cars in this division, they make 500. It's barely over 500. Because of course I have that. So this actually may be quite a challenge. I dumped it in a fuel map 6, so we're going to hopefully get more than a couple laps out of a tank in this car. The reason I bought the other tires is because, obviously, for those who aren't familiar with this race, this is a really good money farming race. Like I said, you get about 825, or either 825 or 850,000 credits for winning this race with the clean race bonus. But pretty much you're guaranteed to deal with a wet period in this race. So it's always nice to at least have inters ready, because you're definitely going to need them. See if we can get this Corvette here coming into turn 2, I guess. See if we can kind of pull a Daniel Ricciardo, dive bomb him a little bit. It almost worked out completely. RIP Danny Ricciardo's career. I'm actually kind of upset about that. More so about how Red Bull handled him than his career being over. Because definitely think he should have gotten a better send-off than he did. Casey, you been keeping up with that? Daniel Ricciardo got cut. I may have. I know I sent something to Tyler. Because I know Tyler keeps up with F1 about as much as I do. I know you're not crazy, like, into it. You'll watch it if it's on, but it's not like you don't follow it like me and Tyler do. Yeah. Hey, he got cut this week. That sucks. Oh gosh, come on, slow down, please. I braked a little too late, but luckily he was able to make the corner. I think that's a well-deserved time and track limit penalty, but definitely still wouldn't have liked to have gotten that. So we're sitting at just under a half tank at the midpoint of lap 2. We'll see how we're looking. I'm not feeling too good about this car being super fuel-saving. So far, it's really not been very good on gas. And usually the Viper and the Suzuki usually tend to get about 3 laps to a tank, so we're definitely going to have to play the long game here and play pretty aggressive. This car is not too bad on tires, though. I may be able to double stint the softs, which is a rare thing, unless it's been all-wheel drive cars. Like the TT, I can double stint the softs. It's weird how this thing sounds like a GTR. You see the silhouettes for the new update, Kaysen? Like what people are saying they're pretty sure is coming next week. Everyone's mad about it, so you can guess it's probably not good. No VGTs, but the 3 silhouettes, people are currently assuming it's the Evo 8 and the newest facelift of the GTR, and then a van. Like 2 cars we already have in some other form, and a van. Like the GTR hasn't changed much since 2007, so I mean, it's not like we're really gaining anything by having another version of the same R35. Like, at least with the Nismo, it's slightly different, but I mean, well, yeah, because Polyphony helped develop the infotainment on the GTR. Yeah, the actual car model itself. I mean, I get it, but I mean, like, people have been begging for new GT3s, been begging for new, like, the newer hypercars, like the Cadillac and stuff like that, and the 296 GT3s, the 499Ps and stuff like that. Because, I mean, the only modern hypercar we have in this game is the GR10. All the other Group 1s are either VGTs or Group C cars or the old LMP1 spec. Yeah, I think we're just missing the G80. Yeah, because we have the M4. Yeah, it would be nice to see some new M cars. I feel like, they've definitely given, as much as I love Porsche, they've given them plenty of love. I think we need to see some other German brands get some love, and I definitely think our us VW boys need some representation with newer stuff. I would love to see the Mark 8 in this game, because Forza did it dirty. I'm not even gonna lie. I drove it in Forza and I hated it. It was one of the worst looking models I've ever seen of a new car. I've been very unimpressed with Forza. We are dropping back way far in the order after this pit stop. We are currently going to be exiting the pits in last. But they're staying out on a wet track, so we're probably going to retake the upper ends of the podium here in a second. because the rainfall is still coming in and it is getting wet on track. So should be pretty. Won't be too long until we start seeing cars spun out. Just gotta have to be careful with the yellow flags, because to my understanding, the only way you really lose the clean race bonus is if you pass under a yellow, any sort of yellow flag infringements. So I'm gonna have to be in my P's and Q's right now to, not do any of that. It is kind of scary to be this far back, especially. But I mean, we're not even halfway through the race yet. I think this car's got more than enough steam to come back here. Maybe if I were running it in anything other than map 6, I'd probably be able to catch up, but this thing definitely does not have the fuel efficiency I need to be out of map 6 for longer than a lap or two. This thing is not very fast in 7th gear, I will say that. Once again, braking a little too late for this corner, but not the worst thing ever. See if we can catch this Atenza. Still looks like we're going to get some speckles of rain on track. The radar is showing some, because that would be very beneficial. See if we can cut through the slipstream of that Mazda here. We got Ferrari 458 in front. See if we can pie him a little bit here. Not quite successful with that one. Gonna get in his slipstream a little bit, see if we can kind of get on the inside there. We are gonna get past him then. My neck just did that awful crack again. I don't know if you guys heard that. Got an Audi TT in front of me. I'm gonna have to do this to my VW group brethren here. I am sorry. I have to get around you. You're kind of in my way now. I would love to see a GTI TCR2. It'll be really sick though. An RS3. Or any of the new Audi RS cars. Because I don't think there are any Audi RS cars in this game. I don't think about it. I think the highest four-cylinder TTs, and then the VR6 car, obviously. But the TTRS exists. I think obviously, if they were going to add another Audi, I think the RS3 is probably going to be the go-to because of how popular it's been. Or the V8 RS5. Yeah. The V8 RS5 too, I think, will be a very welcome addition. But I definitely think if an Audi's going to join this game, it'll be more than likely the RS3. Because I doubt, granted, Polyphony is known to add copies of the same car. They may still go for the TTRS. But I totally see them actually doing something different for once and putting the RS3 in here. I love Polyphony, but these last few updates, the cars they've chosen, most of them, it doesn't even seem like they're listening to the community very much. They're just kind of adding whatever cars they want. Because, the community wants more modern race cars. Because, most of the Group 3 grid are cars from, 6 to 7 years ago, with the exception of the AMG GT3, which is probably the newest, car on the grid in terms of Group 3 representation. Most of them are, we don't have a new 911 GT3R yet. We don't have any of the G80 M3 race cars. We don't have, stuff like that. The only BMW Group 3s we have are about 10 years old now, I think, other than the two M6s. The only Audi, Audi doesn't really race in much motorsport now. They've put all their marbles in F1, so maybe that won't work. But I don't know. Polyphony's making some strange decisions, A little bit of a slide there. These intermediates are definitely may not have been the move, guys. I'm definitely struggling for grip, and the track has rather unexpectedly dried out, so it may... I don't know quite what I'm going to do yet, because these tires are going to be shot by the end of this lap, so this car chews through intermediates pretty aggressively. Let's see. case anything, I just go full kill for the rest of this lap and hope for the best. No, we're about halfway through the race, but these tires probably only got this lap left. We'll go map 3. I'm not going to go full map 1 because I've already only got a lap and a half of fuel left on this setup as is. We'll see if we can get a few extra mile an hour on the straights though and be able to close the door on these guys. Probably switch to maybe mediums. I don't know yet. This thing is definitely not a fuel sipper, and the fact I haven't even gotten in the lead yet in this race is kind of sad. See how we are when we get past Indianapolis and stuff like that. Maybe bump it at map 1 if I still got a decent bit of fuel left. All right, we're going to close the door on this Evo here. We're definitely going to be coming in hot here to this chicane here. Try to get a little bit of a slipstream on them. Oh, maybe we got a second breath of wind from the rain here, maybe? Doesn't look like it. Oh, we are going to take P2 here. These guys probably be pitting this lap. If I had to guess, some of these guys will be. They kind of take turns. Maybe not. Oh, come on, please slow down. Mulsanne is not a corner to play around with. Big slide. Okay. These tires are definitely shot. And I bump up the traction control as well. See if I can save face a little bit. We're closing the door very slowly on this Corvette in front. I could definitely go another lap on fuel if I bumped it back in the fuel map 6, but I definitely don't know if I want to. I feel like I'll be playing with fire at this point. It's better probably just to play it safe. See if we can manage this. This rear left's about to go, so this might be very challenging Porsche curves. Because as I talked about in the last stream, ever since they did the physics update, once your tires go bald, it's over. You might as well be driving on ice. All right, map 1. Let's see if we can close in on this Corvette before we hit the pit lane. Okay, radar looks clear for at least a little bit now. Oh gosh. Yep, there they go. Tires just gave out. That's cool. The rear left let go and immediately threw me into the gravel trap. It's always the intermediates too. Like, strategy's definitely not been on my side with this car. See, now the car's just completely undrivable. Anything going on in the chat, Kason? Ah. Oh well. It'd be like that. Alright, we got a bunch of cars up pitted in ahead of me. So we'll try to sneak by on some softs. Looks like everybody had to be pitted. We'll see if we can get a tank of fuel in there and go back onto the softs and see if we can bring this one home. Definitely not been a fun one for sure. This has been a tough race. But we're down to just a little under 12 minutes to go, about 11 and a half minutes. Fill this thing up, put some good tires on it, should be good. Hopefully we'll be able to make it another stint. I won't have to stop for fuel anytime soon. Playing the long game here. Switching on the softs, going to be oh gosh, some of the others have swapped on the softs too. Alright, let's hope for the best. We got 2.5 laps of fuel on map 1. I'm going to dump it into about map 4. Let's see how map 4 does. This should be enough to get us through a couple. Hopefully get us through the stint. Actually, just to be safe, I'm going to go and go map 6. This car definitely isn't very fuel efficient. But we are back on the softs. This should be a really good tire to finish this race out. Can get probably about 3 or 4 laps in on these tires, so I think that's going to be more than enough to wrap this race up. I definitely don't think I'm bringing home the 825K. I think this car just doesn't have it in it. But I'm willing to give it a try. Oh gosh, I swear. Oh, come on, seriously? Now the rain picks up? After I switch back to slicks? That's just not meant to be. It's just not meant to be today. Screw it, I'm not pitting in again. I'll turn the tractor club all the way up if I have to keep this thing glued to the road for a little bit. Just hope the track dries out. But exited the pits in P15, definitely not where I want to be at all. But knowing how this works, the rest of the grid will pit on this lap. Should be a little bit of wiggle room, but definitely this rain is not helping my case at all. Because it's going to be quite heavy for a quick second here. That's probably going to be enough to force the water level over the zone that I like to say is when you're starting to need wet weather tires. Well, I don't know, the tires are, it's not hydroplaning yet, so might be okay. I am kind of disappointed though. I mean, the car's not a bad car to drive. It's a really easy car to drive. It just doesn't have the pace. Because it just drinks fuel. Like, I can't keep it, like, full of fuel. So, it just doesn't have the pace. It's too thirsty. So, I mean, the car itself isn't bad. It's just not got the muscle it needs to be viable as, like, a go-to car for this event. The brakes are good. I mean, honestly, the car itself is good. It's just that one little thing. It just needs a little bit of extra grunt in the straights. And maybe needs a hybrid engine to sip on some fuel. I mean, granted, I've seen 4-cylinders drink fuel in this race, like, real bad. Street cars in general just drink more fuel in this game. Alright, got Mangano, I don't know how that's pronounced, it's Italian, in front of me in this Evo. Gonna dive bomb him, going in this corner, get around him. We got just over 8 minutes to go. It's about 2 laps. We should be okay. I hope. To close this race out. I don't know, honestly. This thing is so bad on gas. Like, I've already burned a quarter tank just since exiting the pits. I hope I don't have to pit in the last lap. That would be very unfortunate. Yeah, I'm not going to pit in this time. I'm just going to, hopefully, if I need a short shift, I'm going to have to start short shifting. But I think, hopefully, with a lot of the grid pitting in this lap, I should be, or maybe not, actually. No one's pitted in front of me. Oh boy, is this going to be my worst finish yet in this race? Got just under 7 minutes. We're definitely going to be on lap 7 wrapping this race up. So I'm going to hope and pray this thing can sip on fuel the next little bit, because this is definitely not looking good for me. Which really sucks because I need that money. But granted, typically when I've had a decent lead, if I can just get ahead of these guys, like if they do pit in this lap, got the Supra bumping me. There's the Suzuki. We usually been pitting right behind the Suzukis, so should be able to get around him. We are back in the top 10 at least, so we're making up ground, but definitely don't really have the wiggle room in terms of fuel consumption to bump it back down into a lower map to try to pass everybody. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a little bit of a tight finish here. I'm driving the wheels off this car, though, so we'll see if we can make up the ground. 3 wide going into the chicane here almost. The Lamborghini just able to get ahead of the NSX. Come on. Come on, Alpha. Doing the unsafe thing and looking at my opponents while I drive past them. Come on, come on, Alpha. We're back in the top 5. Just 4 cars in front of me. I see at least 3 of them right in front of me. Maybe 2 of them. Come on. I have faith in you, Alpha. We don't have a lot of time left to make this work, but we're gonna try. Because this thing is definitely drinking gas like crazy. All right, gonna get around the Aston Martin here. Come on. And we just got the Porsche. We'll be in the podium positions. Honestly, this car can podium, I'll be pretty happy, but... Okay, we are in P3. We're in the podium positions. Got just under a half tank of fuel. The heads-up display is telling me just over a lap in fuel. I may have to actually start short shifting a little bit. Actually using 8th gear a little bit. So I'm going to do that. I'm trying really hard to stretch this car out into the last lap here. And hopefully these guys ahead of me pit and I can just steal the lead. I'm holding up traffic right now. Shifted about 5,500. Kind of treat this like a diesel. See if we can just drink fuel for the, like, sip on fuel this next little bit. Definitely don't drink it. We need it to sip. Need you to do your best Prius impression. This car. 8th gear. All right, just over 3,000 RPM, cruising at 142 miles an hour. I'm holding up traffic, but I'm vying on these guys in front of me to pit. So as long as they do that, this race is mine. I'm gonna dump it into 8th gear. I'm gonna go on a limb and say they have pit, so I'm hoping. Yep, they have. I see 2 cars entering the pit lane right now, so. Looks like I may be home free, Kaysen. Alright, got 0.9 of a lap left of fuel. Let's make this count. Come on, car. P2, and there is the lead. Ah, man, I don't like this. Alright, we got just over a quarter tank of fuel. I'm probably still going to try to use 8th gear when I can. Just because 8th gear keeps the revs down, but obviously, probably more than likely on the straights. I'm going to try to use higher gears as well. Rely more on this car's low-end torque now that we're in the lead. Shift a little early. Not super early. But try my best to lengthen out this stint as much as I can, because we are definitely in crunch zone right now. If I had pitted in right there, this would have been over. Definitely doesn't like the short shifting. It likes to rev out completely. It likes to hit that 7,000 RPM zone. We're rolling about 155. Going to go ahead and put her into 8th. Keep those revs down. My fuel mileage up. This is going to be tough. This will be close. It's definitely a good tryout for it, but I definitely think that I would not use this car as my go-to for this race. I think in some other races, this car would be great. Cars that didn't have quite aggressive fuel usage. Like, if it just had tire wear, this thing would be a beast at this point, because you could run it in map 1 in full kill, and it'd be more than enough horsepower. But having to constantly running in map 6 and then still not quite be able to outlast most cars, definitely not ideal. Come on. Second chicane. Somehow I'm a second and a half up in my fastest lap, which I don't get because I've been short shifting the crap out of this car and using 8th gear. Like, and this thing is dog slow in 8th gear. It does not pull in 8th. Like, it's maintaining speed, if anything, at full throttle in 8th. So, I mean... I think I should be okay to go full throttle and shift at 7 now. Got just over... We got right at 17% fuel left in the car. Should be more than enough to get us to the end now. Check the map. Looks like no one is nearby, so... I think it's safe to say at this point that we have somehow gotten the lead on the last lap through strategy and managed to pull this off in this car, which I did not think at the end of the last stint had it in it. So pretty stoked with that. So you have it. Julia just needs to be set up right, and you can win this race on strategy. I mean, you got to be on your game and not get any penalties whatsoever. I mean, other than the one penalty we got at the beginning of the race. You just got to be on your P's and Q's and make sure you play your strategy right. Because I'm willing to bet if I didn't blunder the weather strategy, I might have been able to make this happen a little bit sooner in the race. But, I mean, hey, a win's a win, right? All right, we're down under 10% fuel now. We just got a few corners left. Should be more than enough to get to the end of the race. I do wish I was in something with a lot more downforce, because the speed you can carry through in like LMP1 cars or like the Super Formulas or the F1500 or something like that is just ridiculous. It's a shame this thing drinks fuel, because I love this car. Like, honestly, my experience has been fantastic. And there is the finish line, our dude with the checkered flag, with 5% fuel remaining at the end of the lap. Wow, okay. Let's look around the car. Look at the fans in the grandstands. Little 2D cutout looking guys. All right. 15-second gap to P2. And we wound up taking the fastest lap on that last lap, which is just wild. Huh? Oh, good gosh. Oh. Appreciate it. Yeah, the hurricane didn't hit us too hard. It wrecked everybody else out here, but we got spared. We just got some good rain and a little bit of localized flooding. If the B5 was in this game, I would have done it just for old time's sake. Oh man, that thing was an understeering mess. Okay, so I don't know how much you watched of the GT2 stuff. Did you watch like at all of that whole series that I did? I know the B5 got a lot of hate. The Pulsar, okay, so you watched early. Let's see what our prize is. Come on, let this be the night I get the gold bars. Of course, I get the freaking tiny little pile of coins. $5 grand, I'm willing to bet. Yep, 5,000 credits. That's for all that hard work. But yeah, Kaysen is serving as my chat reader tonight. You guys can't hear him at all, but he's reading out chats to me, so I don't have to like interrupt the. Oh, just smack my mic against the VR headset. Interrupt the gameplay to look at it. He can just read it out to me, and I can just go from there. All right. I got you. All right, Kaysen. So I got 3 million credits to spend. I want you to tell me what the best use of that 3 million credits is going to be. So I'm leaning towards the R18, the original R18. You know, I've loved these cars, but I always just buy them and then sell them immediately right after. They're great. They just drink fuel really bad, and they're terrible for endurance racing, but they have the aero and the horsepower to back it up. The Volkswagen IDR, which is electric, but it's a, like Pikes Peak car. I had one when it first came out, and it's the only VW I don't have in the game anymore. I could buy that and then some other cars too. That's the cheaper one. Or the X 2019, because I had one. I have the 25th anniversary run that most of us got, but I don't have the normal one anymore, and that's right at $3 million. Or do I get another Toyota GR10? Like, because the IDR is something I didn't give much of a chance. So maybe I'm thinking if I got another IDR, maybe I would have a bit more love with it. And I mean, then I would have every VW in the game at this point. Another car I've got my eye on, and I just need a few 100,000 more credits, is the Sauber C9. That's 3.5 mil. And that would be, the strong majority of the Group C cars done. I would need the Jag, and I think I would have, every Group C car at some point in this game. So that's my options. I can either do another race, get another couple 100K, and get the Sauber. I can buy the IDR and buy some other stuff. Or I can buy the X 2019 or the R18 and have no money left over. Listen, you want me to go for the Sauber? Yeah, I think we might do that. Oh, hold on. There's one car I do want to get, though. I don't know if I want to or not. It looks like it's still going to have some time in the dealership, though. It's the 911 Club Sport 993. I've been wanting to get another one because I didn't want to chop up my stock one that I already have, because I feel like that's a car I want to leave alone. Question is, though, what's a good race I could go and get that money from? Because I don't want to do another 30-minute race if I can help it. And I only need 500, about 470,000 credits. Let's see. Will Road Atlanta give me that in any sort of way? I did like a 20-minute race. No, not at all. So maybe if I go to the event directory, we'll see. Old touring car. Do we do another 700 race? If there are any other ones? Because I need about 500K, so... And most of them are pretty short in comparison. 10 laps of Laguna Seca. It's a 50% bonus. Don't know what the calculation come up to. What 110,000 and a 50% bonus would be. Because I'm leaning towards doing Laguna. But I probably will swap out of the Alpha if I do that. If I do the 800 and bring out something real fast. Looks like it's going to be a lot of wet races, which sucks. Could do Maggior. And Maggior gives out 168K. Monza gives out 147. I don't want to do the 1 hour of Spa right now. I'm trying to find something on the shorter side. I just need to know what the 50% bonus of 100. Let's see. Was it 110? 50% bonus. Let's see. Okay, that's not really helpful. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not good enough at math for this. Let's see. I'm pretty sure this 3 laps of the Nürburgring would give it. Right? I mean, I just don't know for sure. Would I divide it by 50% and just add it? So the clean race bonus is 50%. So for the 500,000 credit race, it's 825,000 credits. So like for example, this is a 200,000 credit race on the Nürburgring. Would it give me 500,000 if I did it? Because I'm trying to find something that'll give me right around 500,000 and not take, too long. Let's see, Group 1 Prototype Series. See if there's anything in here that would pay out that much. 30 minutes at Road Atlanta. Oh, that might not be a half bad idea. That's a race I know very well. Oh, this might not be a good idea for this game to have done this. I am really good at this track. For those who don't know my history with Road Atlanta, in Forza 7, I was ranked number 4 in the world in a Porsche 919 on this track. And my personal best around here in this car is I think like a 103 or 102 with nitrous, obviously. So the fact that this is a 30-minute race here on a track that I know very well may not go very well for this game because the 919 is excellent. Let's go for it. We'll do another 30-minute race, and this one should give more than enough money. And it's my favorite track. I'm going to make sure my VR is centered. Okay, we're going to get about 7 laps of fuel here. This game does not know what it just did. Now, of course, it is a grid of Group 1s, and the 919 definitely does not have the straightaway. Oh, but I did just see my nitrous is enabled. So, maybe able to make use of that in the latter half of the race, probably about halfway through. Oh, already got a half-second penalty for track limits. That's cool. Okay, let's see if we can close the door on these guys here. Well, definitely doesn't help the penalty there on the straight. See, I don't know how finicky the track limits are going to be in this, because I haven't done a race where track limits is actually enforced on this track. So I don't really know how much leeway I have. A little bit of contact there with this another 919 in this race here. This thing is really hard to drive at my full pace when I've got other cars around because they just kind of take up a lot of room. We got an R18 in front of me, and it looks like a TSO 30 Toyota, and then another R18 in front of him. So, kind of try to catch the slipstream to the Toyota here. We're going to get around them both. All right, we're already up in the top 15. Probably this first stint or two, I'm probably going to be at full tilt map 1. We should still get better fuel mileage than the majority of these other Group 1s. I think the only ones that'll really give me a run for my money will be like the GR10. I didn't look and see if there are any of those on the grid. Okay, definitely can't do this in 5th gear like I can on the softs with the medium tires. That might be track limit. Cut in that corner. Yep, I figured. It also doesn't help this is my home track, so of course I'm going to have like a ton of laps on it. Now, if only Porsche gave me the keys to this car on the real track for a little bit of time, I wonder if I would be just as crazy as I am in the game. As I'm going to save my nitrous for my next stint. Or not really my next stint entirely, but like my last stint. Lopez let me down in this recent GT World Series event. I rooted for him. I had a million credits on the line for that guy, and he didn't win. And all signs are like, this dude's fast, and then he doesn't win. I think he finished like 9th, too. I was like, come on, man. Get on the inside of the Mazda here. So I don't know why this is in 11th place. The freaking Nissan LMP1 car was so bad. That front-wheel drive monstrosity of a race car, dude. Got him to get in the grass a little bit because he shut the door on me really hard. And he is still actively hitting my fender. I got a 787B in front of me. It's going to be really hard to get away from that car in the straight. Oh, maybe not. Okay. I just got right around him. All right, we're in the top 10 now. We got just under a half tank of fuel left. Got about 3 laps left in this car before we pit in for the first time for... Oh, there's a little bit of a wreck up here with this GR10 and this Tomahawk. I'm going to go right down the middle of them both. Here, 3 wide in the last corner. Okay. Got a Sauber right out front, or right in 6th, and I just passed him on turn 1. Okay, that was pretty effortless. One thing I will say, the Group C's definitely don't handle like the modern LMP1 cars do, but there's just something about the Group C era of race cars that just has a soul that none of these other cars will match. You know what I'm talking about, Kason? Like, you've driven the Sauber in many games, and you love it because of the character it has. Like, it's definitely a really solid car. Alright, we're in the top 6. Like I said, we've got about 2 laps of fuel left in this thing. Just over a quarter tank of fuel. I would not be surprised to go ahead and see cars starting to pit this lap. Because I don't think the AI really uses much in terms of the fuel maps. Well, the cars in front of me disappeared, so I don't know where they went. Guess we'll see if I start passing cars that are in the pit lane. Still trying to figure out if I'm going to be at the actual race at Red Atlanta in a few weeks. It's the same day APR open house is going on. So I'm trying to... Yeah. So I'm trying to see what my dad wants to do, because if he wants to go to the race, I'm going to go to the race. Which sucks, because I really wanted to go to APR too. But if he doesn't go to the race, we can still go to APR. I don't know what you're wanting to do. I mean, if you're wanting to go to the race too or not. Or if you'd rather go to APR. No, all of it's on a Saturday. APR and Bitsy Eater on a Saturday. On the 12th. I thought you'd try to get that covered. Forgot. It'd be like that. Yeah, might be hard to get work off now after being sick. Alright, we overtook one car in the pit lane. Looks like it'll be our last lap before we pit in. I just feel bad because I already RSVP'd for APR. But, oh well. I mean, if you're not going anyway, it won't be that fun for me anyway, so. I mean, if Briar still goes, but I don't know what he's planning on doing. Alright, looks like I've got 3 of the top 4 right in front of me. Looks like we're all be pitting at the same time, it looks like. Looks like I might be running fuel right at the freaking pit entry. Yeah, we're all pitting at the same time, except for a couple cars. Oh, I wrecked it right coming into the pits. Bruh. I mean, the refuel speed is so slow. Come on. Good, good. Hope y'all are doing well too. Someone just got around me. I heard a Mazda. Yeah. I forget they can't hear you, so I'm just like responding out loud and not even saying anybody's name. So, oh, voice crack. Whoever just said, hey, how are you in the chat? Hope you're doing well too. Yep, cold dip. I got a friend reading the chat out, and y'all can't hear him because the voice settings are wonky. All right, exit the pits at 9th. Let's see if we can make it count here. Should be able to more than enough make up ground. This thing has been a rocket ship. So far, I mean, these mediums are lasting a good bit. I might be able to get this down in the last few laps before I switch to softs. All right, R18 and the Hyundai Vision N whatever in front of me here. We're going to get around them here, going to the final corner. All right, I think that is the Sauber again out in front of me. Kaysen's favorites. And once again, I'm going to get around it rather quickly into the lap because it looks like going into turn 3. May get track limits for that. Oh, wow, he was really slow coming out of turn 3 as we entered the S's. Whoa, very slow moving 919. Looks like somebody ran out of fuel. All right, coming down the end of the back straight here. We got 5 laps of fuel left on this stint. Maybe next stint, because I think we'll probably be close to, if not have the lead by then. We'll bump it up to fuel map 6 and try to get some fuel mileage out of this car. Honestly, though, like this thing has been perfectly fine on fuel, and I'm still making up ground in map 1, so I might not be opposed to leaving it in map 1. Like, we've already got P2 right in our sight. 787B, one of my favorite race cars ever made, but unfortunately can't outclass the 919 on a handling course. Maybe if we were at Lasarth, it would be able to give me a run for my money, but out here, this is this car's territory. High speed, high downforce corners, like this is definitely this car's natural habitat. And this is what I was talking about with the R18s. Like, both R18 Gen cars are faster in a straight line than this thing, but neither of them handle as good as this does. All right, we got our eyes on one more car, and then we have the race lead here with 4 laps to spare on the fuel. It appears to be the Tomahawk. No, that's the McLaren. That's right. I caught that a little bit too sharp. That might be track limits. Yep. I don't know if that... Oh, he's pitting. Okay. That sucks. I wanted a bit of a battle. All right. We got just over 17 minutes to go. This thing has been an absolute trooper through this race. I mean, you guys can see the mileage if y'all are able to get a good look at the odometer. 3,295 miles in this car and counting. This thing has been a unit for a long time. I think this is the most miles I have on any car that I've driven from 0 miles, obviously. All right, serve our half-second time penalty there. So far, I mean, only like 2 seconds in penalties, which hasn't been pretty manageable. I will say the visibility in this car leaves a lot to be desired, but I think most of the LMP-style cars are like this. I can't see out of the majority of them. I can't wait to switch on to softs, so this thing is a machine on softs. I mean, it's doing really good on the mediums, too. I feel like this car really strives on mediums and softs. The hard compound on this car is pretty rough. but it's usable. 2/10 up on the fastest lap here. Oh, came in a little hot there. I thought for sure I was going to be fine there. I took that corner a little bit too fast. Okay, it didn't hurt me too bad. I don't think they really gained a whole lot of ground on me on that one, so it's okay. Got right at 2 laps of fuel left on this stint here. The tire wear is very conservative in this race. The fact I'm not even halfway through these mediums is saying something. The fact I'm almost going to triple stint these tires. Oh, we got a car up. Got a back marker ahead, our first back marker of the day. It looks like it's an Audi R18 as well, so don't make the same mistake I just made on this corner. On the softs, it could be a bit more ballsy into that corner, but definitely not on the mediums. All right, we got one more lap of fuel. Let's make it count. Got the Nissan ahead of us now. Everyone's favorite LMP1 car. The one that like completely died out in the first opening hours of Le Mans. I remember in that car race. I was so excited for it too, because I was like, you know, another new face at Le Mans was really exciting, but especially during the LMP1 era where it was extremely expensive to get into Le Mans at the time, but now it's actually not too bad. Hypercar is a lot cheaper of a category to enter. Gonna lap the Sauber. How does that make you feel, Case? And I just lap the Sauber en route to trying to get the money to buy a Sauber. You think if it was you driving it, I wouldn't have lapped you? I do wish the 919's windshield wiper was down. Oh, I just ran out of fuel. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, at least I was right at the pin entry. I'll just put the flashers on. I think luckily I had a pretty solid gap on the lead, so shouldn't be too bad. We'll find out in a second. Turn the hazards back off as we enter pit lane here. Okay, 25 seconds, and that was after running out of fuel over P2. Come on, finish up, let's go, come on. He got back around me. Okay, it's fine though, we're gonna just completely blast past him here in a second. Everyone's passing me again, son of a gun, come on guys. 11 seconds stop definitely isn't ideal. Gotta lap the other 919 here. I'm sorry, friend. You shouldn't have ran out of fuel in the middle of the lap, because that definitely did not help you at all. Ran a little wide there. I'm kind of hoping these guys can last a few laps, because I would like to get some battles in. I don't like winning races off of strategy. Is the sun going down on track? The track looks progressively cloudier than it did at the start of the race. Not that it can rain here. Thankfully, they did not put rain on this track. That would be a curveball. Looks like we're gonna have some battles here. I like that. All right, we got Jallo, and the Nissan, and that was a pretty easy overtake. Now it's just Mia Zone for me. Oh, he's going to shut the door on me a little bit there. A little aggressive for Miyazono. I bumped him a little bit there. His brakes are a little bit better than mine. Come on. And we do get around him on the straight. He's trying to come in on that inside line there. I'm going to shut the door a little bit. We're going to get on the back straight here. That was a good battle. Wish I hadn't bumped him, but it is what it is. Don't think that's going to be enough to lose clean race bonus. I don't think this race... I hope this race is more like the Le Mans WTC 700. It's all really hard to lose it. Because some races are inconsistent. Sometimes it's really easy to lose a clean race, and sometimes it's really hard to lose the clean race. Yeah, about 5 laps of fuel left on this stint. I probably will pit in about 5 minutes to go to try to switch on to softs, go for fastest lap, and spray the nitrous. That'll get us closer to that 1 minute 3, 1 minute 2 lap in this car. Once the softs are warmed up. I don't know how long it takes those things to fire up in this car, like, off the top of my head. We are back in the lead. We got just under 4 laps, or just over 4 laps of fuel left in this stint, which I think will be more than enough to slow us down for, set us up, I should say, for a good couple laps of fastest lap attempts. So I'm going to wait until about 5 minutes to go. Pit in, fill up, go for fastest lap. Because fuel usage does go up with nitrous use, so, which is realistic. Also on the softs, I'll be able to take that corner way faster. I will say I've been very impressed with how easy this car's been on tires as well. I mean, the fact we have, I believe, triple stinted these mediums at this point, and we could theoretically quad stint these tires is really impressive. This thing is just, I don't know, I'm a firm believer in the 919 being the best Group 1 in this game. I know most people won't agree with me. A lot of people try to throw the Sauber or the 787 or any of the VGT cars out there as the best Group 1. In my opinion, it will always be the 919. I mean, 3,313 miles on the clock on this one should more than make my opinion on this car obvious. And, of course, it is the car that got me globally ranked in Forza for the first time. Haven't seen any time trials out here with this car in this game. Imagine that sport mode, if that happened, I'd probably be fairly competitive. I won't say, I don't think I'd be quite as good in this as I was in Forza, but I would hope be a little bit competitive. These mediums are definitely starting to wear, though, because I am noticing I'm having to slow down a lot more for some of these corners. The sun is definitely going down. Come last lap. Or what am I getting ready to lap here? Looks like either another R18, maybe? Oh, that's the Toyota GR10 sitting back here in P16. Anything new going on in the chat, Kason? Nothing? Heck yeah. Good to see me hopefully work towards my PB again here in a minute, once I can get onto the softs with the nitrous going. I'm going to try. I mean, I'm going to have to push this car pretty hard to do that, and it's hard for me to do that while commentating, but I'll do my best to get really close to it or set a really fast lap. May wind up having to pit this lap. because I just noticed I've got right at about a lap of fuel left, which is fine if I have to pit a little bit early. That gives me one more extra shot at presumably one extra shot at fastest lap that I wouldn't have had otherwise. I think to be safe, I'm going to go ahead and pit this lap. I probably could, if I put it map 6, stretch this out one more lap, but I'm ready for fastest lap runs, so... Let's go ahead and bring her in, boys and girls, if there's any girls watching. Probably not, though. Alright, let's do this. Got a 40-second gap over P2. I don't quite know what Hazal's in. I wasn't paying attention. I know Fraga is in the Sauber. I remember seeing that. Come on, full tank, let's go, come on. Okay, only added up 4 seconds for the stop to throw the tires on. Probably will need at least a lap or so to heat these things up. Hopefully by the end of the out lap, these things will be in their operating range. We'll be able to put down a really fast lap. All right, let's see. We did exit the pits in first, but apparently I got a 1 second penalty for cutting across pit lines. When did I ever do that? And conveniently, we exited pits right behind the Sauber, so... I think my VR got uncentered again. So apologies for this pause while I fix that. There we go. Much better. Well, at least I think I'll serve that on this lap. Instead of on a lap I'm actually going to be pushing this car. I don't think I cut across pit lines, though. I don't think that at all. I wish I could, like, appeal that. Because I definitely don't think I crossed pit lines. Alright, do a little bit of this movement to kind of get these tires warmed up. So we head down to the chicane. A little sketchy to do that at full speed. Alright, gonna go ahead and start one push lap here. Second and 2/10 off my best lap before. Don't quite think this is going to be like a PB killer, but hopefully be relatively close. I think I overshot it, guys. Oh! That was a little late for me on the brakes there. Looks like we got maybe half a lap or so of nitrous to try again. A 105, though, is definitely respectable. I think if I had been a little bit less risky on the chicane there, might have been able to make a 104 or a 103 happen. Ran a little wide there. That'll probably be track limits. Yep, I figured. Only 5/10, though. Half a second is not too bad at all. It does look like we are out of nitrous. Gonna go around the Alpine here. Alright, I think that kills our fastest lap attempts of this race. So, apologies for not being able to set a PB. Gonna have to re-lap the Alpine here. Well, I think we'll have about 2 laps left. I bet if I rebuilt the motor and refreshed the chassis, it'd probably be a little bit easier because they're both worn. Oh, there's a sign on the road. That was cool. Ooh. Oh, this broke. I'll be watching this thing because I'm talking to myself. Kaysen is here, guys. Y'all just can't hear him if you haven't been watching the stream very long. But it sounds like I'm talking to myself. I'm actually talking to Kaysen, other than commentating for you guys generally. All right, we're going to definitely have another lap to go. Oh. All right, 35 seconds on the timer. We're definitely getting a lap 25 in. Luckily, that last fuel stop definitely helped out a lot. So we're definitely going to have enough fuel to go for that last lap. All in all, very successful race. It's definitely going to be a rather large margin to second. I'm hoping that the track limits penalties we got on a couple of little baby contact incidents didn't lose the clean race bonus. Because it was either I did this or I redid Le Mans again. And I'm sure you guys don't want to watch me do that twice. Even though I would have done a different car, because the Alpha was definitely not the move for that. So, okay, see who we're going to be lapping now. P13 is Sasaki, and we got Barbara ahead of him. I think we've got R18 in the Hyundai, it looks like. It's going to be wild to see something similar to that on a wet grid in a couple of years, or an IMSA grid. All right, let's bring it home. Around the final corner. And a 107 to round off the race. And a pretty solid race win, I might add. That was a really solid race. Couple of little track limits penalties didn't hurt nobody. And they pretty much replicated Petit Le Mans because it is pitch black out here now. Was able to pull a 105.6 as my fastest lap. I was a lap ahead of everybody. Okay, I didn't lap everybody, so I'm assuming they may have pit in on lap 21 or lap 24 when I passed lap 25. Let's see. Do we get... That's it. Only 320,000? I didn't get the clean race bonus. So, I don't know. Maybe it's really easy to lose it on this race. So I still need 200K to buy the Salver. That'll do it. That I don't think I actually did. Let's see. Is there like a quick race I could do? There's a World Touring Car 600 with 5 laps. Let me do a quick check how things are going. My watch was all lit up. Alright, let's see, do I have anything that'd be good for this race? I need, what is it, 600? Let's see, alright, we've got a bone stock Jag F type. One of my TTs is pretty close to that. My Polo. Polo, I need to, what's the typical opponents for this race? Main rival car is the NSX, the WRX STI Type S, the Supra, and the RE Animaya FD. So I definitely don't necessarily think... I mean, this is Road Atlanta as well. The Polo is not going to be a good choice here because it just doesn't have the grunt. The Jag might be a solid choice. I do have my GSP car that I think weighs like a boat anchor. But this is a track that, well, I don't know. This track also is really good for high-speed cornering. The bone stock LC5. My lineup for this is definitely not great. If we were going to go with like the best possible choice performance-wise, it's going to be this Carrera GTS that I have. I mean, it weighs nothing. It has some grunt. I'm also thinking the E36. What do you think, Kaysen? I got the 64 Carrera GTS. Got my E36 M3. We have a TT, a 180 SX that I don't know how well it's built for this, and then a GSP car I have. It's a Charger. E36. Let's give it a shot. I mean, it's a 5-lap race. There's no fuel like usage or anything like that. The car has decent power, should be enough to handle these guys. And if I remember correctly, it's on decent tires, so it should be painless. And this should give enough to, as long as I get clean race bonus, enough to get that Sauber. If not, I'll just sell something at this point, honestly. I'm trying not to sell stuff. Oh. I'm going to do my little trick here. I'm going to lean forward. And there we go. Now I can see. E36 is another one of those cars. I feel like I'm sitting in the dash. So I'm on Sport Softs. This should be... Oh, this is one of those cars where the fenders bite, huh? I do love this car, though. I'm so glad they changed how manuals work in this game. Oh, gosh. Yeah, this is going to be almost impossible. The fenders it's bottoming out almost. Oh, and I've spun it. You know what? Let's just sell something. There's got to be a car I can get rid of at this point. I forgot all about the E36 being like that. I only needed 150,000 credits, and I've got like some cars I have multiple variants of. So I have no problem getting rid of some of them. Let's see. We'll just do evaluation by descending order. What's a car that I really would not mind getting rid of? Not getting rid of any of my Porsches. How can I forget that? I do have two 992 GT3s. One's like a cup car, and that one I might be okay getting rid of because I don't really have a use for it. And then I have the one I built on day one when that update launched. Yeah, I'll get rid of the spare 992 RS. I only bought that car to try to do a touring tribute like I did with the 991s. All right, now we have enough to buy the Sauber. So let's go ahead and get that. Don't know how much longer this thing's got in the used dealer, so it'd be nice to get this one. It does suck that I have to get this instead of the Ferrari GTO, because I do want the Ferrari GTO as well, but I do love the Sauber to death. So we'll take it off the wish list and go ahead and pay for it. There we go. Nice Sauber C9 from 1989. My fiance will say it's a good year. I'm sure your sister would agree, Kason. T-Swizzle. Your least favorite person. Don't say that too loud. Don't need your sister or Holly or my brother's girlfriend to come after you. All right. Let's see. What tires does the Sauber come with? Because I don't have enough to buy softs for it. Racing mediums. Okay, not a half bad starting tire. So 710 horsepower, 597 pound-feet of torque. Let's see, what should I expect top-end power? Like if I just throw everything at this car. Upgraded turbos will put this thing to 987 horsepower. Let's do it. Why not? I don't buy these things to keep them stock. And now I don't have enough for the softs, but I didn't have enough to begin with. All right. Let's see, is there a Sauber C11 livery? The C11 was driven by Michael Schumacher, and I definitely would love to have that. So a lot of like F1 inspired liveries. I'm definitely... Okay, here's the C11. It's a good solid livery. Hey Casey, you watching the stream right now? What do you have an opinion of this guy, the top comment on this listing for this Sauber livery? Like his username? How did he get away with that in PSN? How does that even work? Gran Turismo 4? My God. I mean, the Sauber debuted in Gran Turismo 4. You're on the right track. You got a GT4 Spec 2 in the brain? Alright, we got the Sauber C11 liver on this car now. The C11 looks just like the C9, really. I'm excited to see what this thing can do. I hate I don't have the best possible tires on this car, but I think I can live. Let's just go straight to Road Atlanta and put it on the leaderboard there. Might as well do another Road Atlanta run. Well, I don't know. We've done Road Atlanta a lot. Maybe Trial Mountain would be better use of that. Because I think I've done laps there with all my other cars. What track is it I'm thinking of? I've done all sorts of laps. And Spa. Spa is what I was thinking of. Alright. Let's do a lap of Spa. So, the leaderboard at Spa is a lot smaller than my Road Atlanta leaderboard, but I've already done Road Atlanta for 30 minutes. I'm sure you guys want to see me do something different. So, the fastest LMP lap I've ever done was in the R18 TDI, the 158.6. And then my 919 was a 201. This is a very old lap, and it's probably not reflective of how I drive now. But keep in mind, this is on racing mediums. This is not on the best possible tire for this car. But let's just see how it goes. See, how bad is this thing off rip? Very. It slides very easily. Where's my heads-up display at? Alright, we're going to go ahead and bump it into 2 traction control. I'm going to definitely have to run it. Higher traction control setting with this much power. I love how this thing sounds. It's such a good sounding car. Definitely going to have to feather the throttle a little bit coming out of corners in this thing. $8,000 RPM redline. This thing sounds insane. See, can I do Erosion Ready on almost flat out? Definitely not bad for a Group C. I think my VR is not centered. Maybe it was. That's better. I just had to look to the right a little bit. A little bumpy coming up to the top of the hill. I'm definitely braking a little too late. Okay, we were able to make it work. I'm going to pedal it a little bit coming out of the corners in second gear here. This thing has definitely got a little bit of slip to it. Dogleg transmission. I see that out of the corner of my eye. First gear being, or second is on most cars, if you're unfamiliar with dogleg transmissions. See, this corner right here is where I'm really curious how it's going to go, because most cars can't take this corner in a higher gear, and this one appears to be no different. Not being able to take this corner at too high of a speed. The lack of a speedometer is odd in this car. I don't know if that was normal for Group C's to not have speedometers, but I think that would be pretty important to have, not just the tachometer. Alright, put our foot down a little bit, see what she can do here on this last little segment of the track here. This thing is very fast. I do like this car. I do see why Kason likes this thing so much. Because it is a really good car. It does sound heavenly. Just a shame it doesn't have the arrow. It does definitely sound rowdy. Alright, a 206.3. Not too bad. Let's do a look around the cabin here. This will be the only time I'll ever sit shotgun on one of these things. Got our plexiglass one. It looks like we got like a bit of an air thingy. Maybe for keeping the driver at least slightly cool. The roll bars, wow, we got these wires. I'm using my hands like I'm actually sitting in the real car. Cabin is definitely tight. This little half passenger seat here. I don't know who would want to ride shotgun in that seat in this thing. And then obviously you can't see the engine behind you. Pretty sweet though. I don't know what the charge thing is. Problem. I love that. The problem light. It doesn't have a check engine. It's got a problem light. Then we've got a tire switch, a wiper switch, flashers, the ignition switch, and the hazard button is all the way on the other side of the car. So there's that. Steering wheel, we got this cable here that does not move. I've seen some cars where it does. And then our shifter here, like I said, this is a dog leg transmission, so I'm going to put the brakes on. You can see second, third, fourth, and then fifth is where six would be on a normal transmission. So, like I said, if you're unfamiliar with dog legs, first gear is where second gear is. First gear is where second gear is on most cars. So, all right, let's see where that ranked up on the leaderboard. Definitely not going to be in the top group. I definitely think it's going to be on the slower end of the LMP1s, or Group 1 cars. It does make the top 10, but it is 5 seconds behind the 919, and that was from a lap from a few years ago. So, all in all, not too shabby. All right, okay, so one last check on the chat. Anything new that I can... Okay. Well, guys, I think we have exhausted all we can do in this stream without being here for a few hours, so... I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up now. So I do want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. This has been a really fun stream and a really cool addition to the garage with the Sauber. I think I am going to go back at some point. I don't know about tonight because my butt's already hurting and it's already getting kind of late in the evening, I believe. I don't know. Haven't had a concept of time since we started this. And get the other 993 Club Sport and possibly do that later. But anyway, guys, thank you all. I'll see you guys later. Have a good rest of your day, night, whatever it is for you guys, and take care.